8 signs you are good with money. How do you know if you're actually good with money? Most people think they are. They pay their bills, hold down a job, and aren't living on the street. They're doing fine. But being okay with money and being good with money are completely different things. Here's the reality. You can earn 6 figures and be terrible with money. You can earn $50,000 and be excellent with it. Income doesn't determine financial competence. Habits do. There are 8 specific signs that separate people who are genuinely good with money from people just pretending to be. 8 behaviors that prove, mathematically, not emotionally, whether you actually know what you're doing financially. Most people have maybe 2 or 3 of these signs. Truly wealthy people, they have all 8, regardless of income level. If you're ready for brutal honesty about where you actually stand financially, type ready and hit subscribe. Because sign number 1 is the foundation everything else builds on. And most people fail it immediately without even realizing why they can't get ahead. Sign 1. You have a steady flow of income. Here's the first sign you're good with money, and most people miss this completely. You have a steady, predictable income flowing in consistently. Not occasional, not variable. Steady. Most people's income is all over the place. Commission-based jobs where some months are great and others are terrible. Gig work that depends on how many rides you drive or deliveries you make. Inconsistent hours that change week to week. Constantly switching jobs, hoping the next one pays better. Every month feels like starting over financially, and you can never get ahead because the foundation keeps shifting. Here's the brutal truth. Financial stability starts with income stability. You cannot build wealth on income that appears and disappears randomly. It's like trying to build a house while the ground is constantly moving beneath you. This doesn't mean you need a traditional 9-to-5 job. Freelancers can have a steady income if they have consistent clients. Business owners can have a steady income if their revenue is predictable. Investors can have a steady income from dividends and rental properties. The key isn't the source, it's the steadiness. There's ancient wisdom that says, steady plodding brings prosperity, but hasty speculation brings poverty. You can't budget around income that changes by 50% month to month. You can't save consistently when you don't know what you'll earn. You can't plan for anything when your financial foundation is quicksand. Research backs this up. People with a regular income save 40% less than those with steady income, even when their total annual earnings are identical. Why? Because unpredictability kills discipline. You can't automate savings when you don't know what's coming in. You can't commit to investments when next month might be a disaster. If your income varies wildly month to month, your first priority isn't budgeting better or saving more, it's stabilizing your income. Take the reliable job over the exciting but variable one. Build a consistent client base instead of chasing one-off projects. Create systems that generate predictable revenue instead of hoping for big scores. I know a freelancer who made $80,000 some years, $45,000, others $65,000 in between. Averaged decent money over time, but could never plan, never saved, never built anything because he couldn't predict what was coming. He switched to a stable $60,000 salary plus controlled consulting on the side. Lower potential ceiling but much higher floor. Within 3 years, he had $50,000 saved, more than he'd accumulated in the previous 8 years of higher average earnings. He told me, "I thought freedom meant variable income and unlimited upside. But real freedom requires a stable income you can actually plan around. Variability isn't freedom, it's chaos disguised as opportunity. You can't build a house on shifting sand. Steady income is the foundation that everything else requires. But that's just the obvious part. What I'm about to say is what makes the difference between having income and actually controlling where it goes." Sign 2. You know how much you spend. Here's the second sign, and this is where most people fail immediately. You know exactly how much you spend, not approximately, not around this much, exactly. Ask the average person, how much do you spend every month, and watch them guess. Maybe $3,000? Could be $4,000? I'm not really sure. They have no idea. Money flows out of their account and they can't explain where it went. It just disappears. That's not being good with money. That's being controlled by money. People who are actually good with money know their numbers precisely. They know they spend $3,847 per month because they track it. They know $1,200 goes to rent, $450 to groceries, $180 to gas, $95 to various subscriptions, $340 to eating out. They can tell you within $50 where every dollar goes. There's ancient wisdom about this. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds. That's biblical financial advice from 3,000 years ago about knowing your numbers exactly, not guessing. And modern research proves it works. People who track their spending save 15 to 20% more than people who don't, even with the same income. Just the act of knowing creates awareness, and awareness changes behavior automatically. Here's what happens when you don't know you're spending. You feel broke all the time, but can't figure out why. You think you're being responsible, but your account never grows. You blame your income for being too low when the real problem is that you have no idea where it's going. The solution is simple but uncomfortable. Track every single dollar for at least 1 month. Every coffee, every app subscription, every impulse Amazon purchase, everything. Use an app like Mint, YNAB, or Personal Capital. Or just use a simple spreadsheet. The tool doesn't matter. The awareness does. Most people resist this because they don't want to see the truth. They know it'll be uncomfortable. And they're right. It is uncomfortable. But that discomfort is what creates change. I know a couple who thought they spent about $4,500 monthly. They felt broke constantly and couldn't understand why they never got ahead on his $78,000 salary. Finally, they actually tracked their expenses for 30 days. The real number? $6,300 per month. An extra $1,800 they couldn't account for was vanishing every single month. Subscriptions they'd forgotten about, $180. Eating out, which they thought was occasional but was actually 15 times a month, $840. Random Amazon purchases they didn't even remember buying, $520. Death by 1,000 small cuts. Once they saw the real numbers, they cut the obvious waste and got down to $4,800 monthly spending. Started investing that $1,500 difference. Within 2 years, had $40,000 invested, purely from awareness. They told me, we thought we had an income problem. We had an awareness problem. You can't fix what you don't measure. We were bleeding money for years and didn't even know where the wound was. Financial awareness precedes financial control. You must know your numbers before you can improve them. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference between knowing your numbers and actually being in control of them. Sign 3. You can pay your bills every month without stress. Here's the third sign you're good with money. When your bills arrive, you pay them without thinking, without stress, without juggling which one to delay. There's no anxiety about whether you'll cover rent this month. No calculator gymnastics, trying to figure out if you can afford utilities and groceries. You just pay everything and move on with your life. Most people don't experience this. They live paycheck to paycheck, stressed every single month about whether everything will get covered. They play a monthly juggling game. Pay this bill now, delay that one until next week, hope nothing unexpected hits. It's constant low-grade financial anxiety that never goes away. And they think this is normal. Doesn't everyone stress about bills? No. People who are good with money don't. Not because they're rich, because they live below their means. When bills come due, there's a buffer. There's room. There's no question about whether the money exists because they structured their life to ensure it always does. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Financial peace isn't about having everything you want. It's about easily affording everything you have. And if you can't easily afford it, You have too much. Research shows financial stress is the #1 cause of overall life stress in America. Not healthy, not relationships, money, and specifically the stress of not knowing if you can cover basic obligations each month. If bills stress you every month, you're living above your means. Period. Doesn't matter what you earn. If $50,000 stresses you because bills are $48,000, you're living wrong. If $150,000 stresses you because bills are $145,000, same problem, bigger numbers. Here's the rule. Your fixed monthly expenses, rent, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, should be no more than 50% of your take-home pay, ideally 40%. That leaves room for savings, irregular expenses, and life happening without panic. Calculate this right now. Add up every fixed monthly bill. Divide by your monthly take-home pay. Over 50%? You're in the danger zone. Over 60%? You're one emergency away from total crisis. You have two options: increase income or decrease fixed expenses. Usually, you need both. I know someone earning $65,000, that's $4,300 monthly take-home after taxes. Fixed bills totaled $3,800 per month. That's 88% of income going to bills before groceries, gas, or anything else. Stressed constantly. One unexpected expense meant choosing which bill to skip that month. He made hard decisions. Moved to a smaller apartment, saved $400 monthly. Sold his finance car, bought a reliable used one for cash, and eliminated $380 car payment. Fixed expenses dropped to $3,020, from 88% of income to 47%. Same income. Suddenly, he could breathe. Bills went from monthly crisis to background noise. He told me, "I thought I needed to earn more to feel secure. I just needed to stop living like I earned more than I actually did." Eliminating bill stress was worth more than any raise I could have gotten. Financial peace isn't about having money. It's about bills being smaller than income, with room to breathe between them. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything. Because paying bills without stress is a defense. But this next sign is what lets you actually enjoy the money you're working so hard to earn. Sign 4. You can buy things you want without guilt or damage. Here's the fourth sign, and this one surprises people. You can buy things you want, not just need, but actually want, without feeling guilty about it and without damaging your financial situation. New shoes because you like them, not because the old ones have holes. You buy them without guilt. Dinner at a nice restaurant just because. You go without stress. Weekend trip somewhere fun. You book it without anxiety. Most people live in one of two extremes, and both are signs of being bad with money. First extreme. They never spend on wants. Ever. They deprive themselves constantly, feel guilty about any enjoyment, and turn every purchase into an agonizing moral decision. They're saving aggressively but can't enjoy a single dollar without shame. Second extreme. They buy whatever they want whenever they want it, but it damages their finances. Credit card debt is piling up. Savings goals derailed. Stress about whether they can actually afford it. They're enjoying spending, but destroying their future. Neither of these is good with money. Being good with money means you've built enough financial stability that you can spend on wants guilt-free, because it doesn't impact your financial goals. The structure is already in place. You've already saved. You've already invested. You've already paid your bills. Is this spending money? It's genuinely yours to enjoy however you want. Benjamin Franklin said, "If you would be wealthy, think of saving as well as getting." But he didn't say never spend. Saving doesn't mean deprivation forever. It means spending guilt-free after you've taken care of priorities. The solution is building guilt-free spending into your budget from the beginning. After savings, that's 20 to 30% automatically going to investments, and after bills, that's 40 to 50% covering fixed expenses. You have 20 to 30% left. That's your guilt-free spending money. No tracking required, no justification needed, no guilt allowed. Do you want coffee every day? Buy it. You want new headphones? Get them. You want to take your partner out for a nice dinner? Do it. This money exists specifically for enjoying life. Here's the critical part. If you can't afford a guilt-free spending bucket after covering your financial must-haves, you don't have a spending problem. You have an income problem, or your fixed costs are too high. I know someone who saved so aggressively that she had $80,000 in the bank by 35, but felt crushing guilt buying a $30 shirt. She'd stand in the store for 20 minutes debating whether she deserved it, ultimately putting it back and feeling terrible. Financially secure but emotionally miserable. Her friend earned less, saved less in absolute dollars, but structured her budget differently. 25% automatically saved, then guilt-free spending with whatever remained. Less total wealth, but more life satisfaction, and still building wealth sustainably. The friend told her, "Money is a tool for living a good life, not life itself. You've built the wealth but forgotten to actually live. I'm living while building wealth. You're sacrificing life to accumulate numbers you're too guilty to ever enjoy." Being good with money means understanding balance. You can't sacrifice every joy for decades and call that success, but you also can't spend freely and destroy your future. The balance is structured. Automate the important stuff first, then enjoy what's left without guilt. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people. Because enjoying spending guilt-free only works if you have this next critical foundation in place. Sign 5. You have an emergency fund. Here's the fifth sign you're good with money, and it's non-negotiable. You have an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting in a savings account, boring, liquid, accessible, earning minimal interest, never touched except for actual emergencies. Most people have zero emergency savings. Ask them what they'd do if their car needed a $1,000 repair tomorrow, and watch the panic in their eyes. Credit card, I guess? Maybe borrow from family? One unexpected expense, and their entire financial life collapses. That's not being good with money. That's living one crisis away from disaster. An emergency fund is the foundation of financial security. It's not exciting. It's not earning impressive returns. It's just sitting there, boring and safe, waiting for life to happen. Because life always happens. The car breaks down, the furnace dies, you lose your job, medical emergency hits, the roof starts leaking. Without an emergency fund, every one of these becomes a catastrophe that derails everything. With an emergency fund, they're annoying but manageable. You write the check, fix the problem, and move on with your life. There's ancient wisdom about this. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. That's biblical advice about keeping reserves for inevitable hard times. An emergency fund is your stored provision. And modern research proves how critical it is. Vanguard studied financial stability factors and found that having just $2,000 in emergency savings increases financial stability by 21%, more than any other single factor they measured. More than income level, more than investment returns, more than anything else. Why? Because that buffer changes everything psychologically. You're not desperate. You're not one disaster away from ruin. You have options. And having options is what financial security actually means. Here's how to build it. First, target is $1,000 as fast as humanly possible. Sell stuff. Work overtime. Cut everything you can. Get that first $1,000 before you invest $1 beyond employer match, before you pay extra on debt beyond minimums. That $1,000 is your crisis buffer. Then build to 1 month of expenses. If you spend $3,500 monthly, save until you have $3,500 in an emergency fund. Then 3 months, $10,500. Then 6 months, $21,000. That's your target. Open a separate high-yield savings account, earning 4 to 5%. Name it Emergency Fund Do Not Touch. Automate deposits of $300, whatever you can until it's full. Then stop contributing. It's complete. That money's only job is providing peace of mind. I know someone who didn't believe in emergency funds. My investments are my emergency fund. Why let cash sit earning nothing when I could be in the market? He felt smart and sophisticated. Then his car transmission died unexpectedly. $3,200 repair. He had to sell investments to cover it. The market happened to be down 25% that month. Sold at the bottom, locked in losses. That $3,200 emergency actually cost him over $4,000 from his portfolio. His colleague had a boring $15,000 emergency fund sitting in savings. Same transmission problem. Used $3,200 from the emergency fund, zero investment impact. Replenished the fund over 6 months. Portfolio kept growing untouched. The first guy told me, I thought an emergency fund was financially illiterate. Just cash sitting there earning basically nothing. I learned it's financial insurance. The returns aren't interest earned. They're disasters avoided and investments protected. That lesson cost me over $4,000. An emergency fund doesn't make you rich. It prevents you from becoming poor when life inevitably happens. It sounds simple, but the hardest part is what's about to be told next. Because having an emergency fund handles short-term crises, but this next sign determines whether you're building towards something meaningful long-term. Sign 6. You are planning for a major purpose. Here's the 6th sign you're good with money. You're not just saving aimlessly. You're planning and saving toward a specific, major financial purpose with a timeline and a target. Down payment on a house in 3 years. Retire comfortably at 55. Kids' college fund in 10 years. Start your own business in 5 years. Most people have no financial goals beyond vague hopes. I want to be rich someday. I should probably save more. It would be nice to retire early. No timeline. No specific target. No actual plan. They're just drifting financially, hoping things somehow work out. That's not being good with money. That's being financially aimless. People who are genuinely good with money have clear major purposes driving their financial decisions. They know exactly what they're building toward, and that purpose transforms every financial choice from sacrifice into progress toward something real. Viktor Frankl, who survived concentration camps, wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." That applies perfectly to money. When you have a clear financial why, a major purpose you're working toward, you can handle the how of daily discipline, because you're not just sacrificing, you're building. Research backs this up. Studies show people with written financial goals achieve them at 3 times the rate of people with vague intentions. Not because they're more disciplined, because having a specific target with a timeline creates focus and urgency that vague hoping never does. Without a major purpose, saving feels like deprivation. I'm giving up things I want now for what exactly? Some undefined future? With a major purpose, saving feels like progress. I'm 3 months closer to my house down payment. I just moved from 62% to 68% toward my retirement target. Purpose transforms the psychology of discipline completely. Here's how this works practically. Define one major financial purpose in the next 3 to 10 years. Write it down. Set a specific timeline. Calculate what it requires monthly. Then restructure your financial life around achieving it. Maybe it's a house down payment. Needs $60,000 in 4 years? That's $1,250 per month you need to save. Maybe it's financial independence. Want $500,000 in 15 years? That's roughly $1,100 monthly invested at 8% returns. Maybe it's business. Need $40,000 startup capital in 3 years? That's $1,111 monthly. The specific purpose doesn't matter. What matters is having one and knowing exactly what it demands from you monthly. I know 2 coworkers, both earning the same salary, both trying to save money. First guy just saved, no particular target, no purpose, saved when he felt like it, spent when he wanted something. After 8 years, I had about $30,000 accumulated. Not bad, but no momentum, no urgency. The second guy had a crystal clear purpose. He wanted $100,000 down payment for a house in 5 years. Did the math, $1,667 monthly target. Restructured entire financial life around hitting that number. Cut expenses aggressively. Picked up side work. Hit the target in 5 years. Bought the house. The first guy told me, we both tried to save. He succeeded because he had a specific purpose backed by math. I failed because I had vague good intentions. Purpose turns saving from sacrifice into measurable progress towards something you actually want. Without it, Discipline eventually fails because you can't see what you're building toward. Money without purpose is just numbers in an account. Major financial goals transform discipline into a mission, and missions get accomplished. Vague hopes don't. Don't jump to conclusions, because what comes next can change your perspective completely. Because planning for major purposes only works if you have this next habit running consistently. Sign 7. You are saving money consistently. Here's the 7th sign you're good with money. You save consistently. Not occasionally, not when you remember, not when there's money left over. Every single month, regardless of what's happening, money gets saved. It's automatic, predictable, and non-negotiable. Most people save sporadically. Tax refund comes in, great, $3,000 to savings. Work bonus arrives, awesome, another $1,500 saved. Random $200 here and there when the month goes well. They feel like they're saving, but their actual savings rate is essentially zero most months, because it only happens occasionally, not systematically. That's not building wealth. That's hoping to build wealth. Being good with money means you save every single month like clockwork. 10%, 20%, and 30% of every paycheck disappear into savings and investments before you can spend it. Not leftover money after spending. Planned, automatic, first priority money that moves before anything else happens. Charlie Munger said it bluntly. The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. After that, it's autopilot. But the only way to get to that first $100,000 is through consistent, systematic saving month after month after month. Sporadic big saves don't get you there. Boring consistency does. Studies prove this mathematically. Consistent savers accumulate 5 to 7 times more wealth than sporadic savers over 20 years, even when total contributions are similar. Why? Because consistency allows compound interest to work without interruption. Sporadic saving means constantly restarting, never building real momentum. Think of it like working out. Exercising intensely once a month doesn't build fitness. Exercising moderately every day does. Same with money. Saving $1,000 randomly 4 times a year doesn't build wealth like saving $333 every single month for 12 months. Same total, completely different results because consistency compounds. The solution is automation. Make saving the default, not the decision. Every paycheck, money automatically moves to savings and investment accounts first. You never see it, so you never debate whether to save it. It's gone before temptation exists. Calculate your savings rate right now. Take your annual savings, divide by annual gross income, and multiply by 100. Under 10%? You're not building wealth, you're treading water. Target minimum, 15%. Good, 20 to 25%. Serious about financial independence, 30% or more. Set up automatic transfers the day after your paycheck hits for at least 15% of your income. Make it automatic so discipline becomes irrelevant. I know someone who saved when possible for 5 years. Big tax refund? Saved $3,000. Work bonus? Saved $1,500. Extra money here and there when the months went well. Felt proud of his saving discipline. After 5 years, I had accumulated $18,000. His friend automated $400 every single month for those same 5 years. Boring, consistent, never exciting, never thought about. After 5 years, had $28,000 saved, plus growth from investing it consistently. The first guy told me, I saved in big, exciting chunks when opportunities came. She saved in tiny, boring increments every month without fail. I thought my way was smarter, saving big amounts when possible. But consistent tiny actions beat sporadic big actions every time because consistency compounds and sporadic ones don't. I was playing financial roulette. She was playing financial chess. Wealth is built through boring, systematic consistency, not through exciting sporadic efforts. Automate it so discipline becomes automatic instead of a daily decision you'll eventually lose. Wait, the most important part is in the following story, because saving consistently only matters if you're doing this final thing with that money. Sign 8. You invest to make more money. Here's the 8th and final sign you're truly good with money. Your money is working to make more money. You're not just saving, You're investing. Your dollars are out there reproducing, generating returns, building wealth while you sleep. You understand that saving is for short-term goals and security, but investing is how you actually build real wealth. Most people save but never invest. They accumulate money in checking accounts earning 0% or savings accounts earning 0.5%. Meanwhile, inflation runs at 3% annually, which means their money is actually losing purchasing power every year. They think they're being financially responsible by saving, but they're actually getting poorer in real terms. That's the difference between savers and wealth builders. Savers accumulate dollars. Investors accumulate assets that generate more dollars. Being good with money means understanding this distinction and acting on it. Doesn't mean you're day trading or picking individual stocks or doing anything risky. It means you're consistently putting money into index funds, retirement accounts, real estate, or other assets that grow over time. Your money is working, not sitting dormant. Warren Buffett said it perfectly. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Investing is making money while you sleep. It's the only way ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. The math is devastating if you don't invest. Take $500 per month for 30 years. In a savings account at 0.5%, you'll have about $185,000. Sounds decent until you realize you contributed $180,000 of that. You only earned $5,000 in 3 decades. Now take that same $500 monthly and invest it in a basic S&P 500 index fund, averaging 8% annually. After 30 years, you'll have approximately $745,000. Same contributions, $560,000 more wealth. That difference is the cost of not investing. After your emergency fund is fully funded, that's 3 to 6 months of expenses and accessible savings. Every dollar beyond that should be invested, not saved. The emergency fund is your safety net. Everything else should be growing. Open an investment account today if you don't have one. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, pick one. Takes 15 minutes. Start with a target date retirement fund that matches when you plan to retire, or go with a total market index fund. Automate monthly contributions. Let compound interest do its work. Even small amounts matter. Just $200 per month invested at 8% for 30 years becomes $298,000. That same $200 monthly in a savings account at 0.5% becomes $70,000. That's $223,000 difference from the same discipline, different vehicle. I know 2 siblings who were both disciplined savers from a young age. Both saved $500 every single month for 25 years. First sibling kept everything in a savings account. Safe, accessible, no risk, I can see my money. Ended with $156,000 after 25 years of discipline. Second sibling invested it all in the most boring investment possible, an S&P 500 index fund. Never touched it, never sold during crashes, just held through everything. After 25 years, had $584,000 from the exact same monthly contributions. That's nearly 4 times more wealth from identical discipline. The only difference was understanding that saving preserves money, but investing multiplies it. The first sibling told me, I thought I was being financially responsible and safe by keeping it in savings where I could see it and access it. I was being financially illiterate. I lost $428,000 by not understanding the difference between saving and investing. Saving is defense. It protects what you have. Investing is an offense. It grows what you have. I played pure defense for 25 years and wondered why I never got ahead. Being good with money means knowing when to save and when to invest. You need both. Emergency fund and short-term savings, keep it liquid and safe. Everything else, invest it and let time work its magic. You don't need to be smart about investing. You need to be consistent and patient. Buy broad index funds. Contribute automatically. Never panic sell. Hold for decades. That's it. That boring strategy has created more millionaires than any genius stock-picking strategy ever has. These 8 signs together: steady income, knowing spending, stress-free bills, guilt-free spending, emergency fund, major purpose, consistent saving, and active investing. That's what being truly good with money looks like. Not rich, not flashy, just mathematically, behaviorally, sustainably good with whatever you have. Now you know the 8 signs that prove you're actually good with money. Steady income flow, knowing you're spending precisely, paying bills stress-free, buying wants guilt-free, having an emergency fund, planning for a major purpose, saving consistently, and investing to grow wealth. These aren't about how much you earn, they're about how well you handle whatever you earn. Here's your reality check. Count how many of these 8 signs you honestly have right now. Not working on or planning to, actually have functioning today. Under 5, you're not as good with money as you think, and that's okay. Now you know exactly what to fix. Pick the weakest sign, build it over the next 90 days until it's automatic. Then tackle the next one. 1 year from now, you can have all 8 running on autopilot while everyone else is still planning to get serious. Comment your honest count. How many of these 8 signs do you have? Drop a number 0 to 8 below. Which sign are you committing to building first? Public commitment makes you 3 times more likely to follow through. Want the exact playbook for building emergency funds fast, starting to invest with small amounts, or doubling your savings rate painlessly? Smash subscribe and turn on notifications. Remember, being good with money isn't about being rich. It's about mastering these 8 habits regardless of income. Someone earning $50,000 with all 8 signs is better with money than someone earning $200,000 with only 3. These signs prove competence, not income. Build all 8, master them, and watch your financial life transform, not because you earned more, but because you finally handled everything right.